entering tasks and almost possibly role models in their lives. I simple but important so they quality time together doing all stuff. But really, to the should just out.
This form with don't miles and they'll up because they couldn't mean anything. We recruit into the community and they really screen practice. We match up with all the community boys and mothers. But I'm into their community in their life and what I find relationships long stuff. Quite complex. We do a lot in short, but getting to know people really well really fast. So and okay, but also checking that they're fully on board with talking about what is offending them in their lives at all, or being led ahead. So the other is good. People like process which takes 3 months. Is Roy checking that are you really sure that you want to spend 2 hours a week that really like possibly? And if we I'm ready now.
What other characteristics are you looking for?
Firstly, that they're grounded, safe, whole. Not some of them fine, whatever, but clear people who know who they are, know who they're not. And it's usually that.